My name is Cam Teskey, and I'm a professor at the Hotchkiss Brain Institute at the University of Calgary.
I'm Bryan Kolb from the University of Lethbridge. I've been a professor of psychology and more recently neuroscience for 39 years there. The evolution of the Introduction to Brain and Behavior, now in its 5th edition, has brought us to embrace more epigenetics, that is the way experience changes gene expression, more on brain plasticity, that is how the brain is flexible in response to experiences.
So neuroscience is always changing because it's embracing new technologies and new techniques. And this is moving the field forward. There's been some age-old questions that are now being answered more precisely, more accurately with these new technologies. We have a series of specific updates that we're doing using new language, modernizing the book, as well as looking at new technologies and how they're impacting the field in the way in which we look at how the brain works.
Our book is different than other books in the market, I think, in 2 ways. One is the book is organized around questions that I believe students can relate to. So there are questions that act as the titles of each chapter. What happens when the brain misbehaves? How is it that we understand language and music? The second thing is that our book has a lot of clinical examples based on our experience. And they're not in one chapter, they're scattered all the way through the book, so it draws the students in.
The book is structured in such a way that it makes it easy for the professor to adopt it and use it as a teaching tool. This allows the instructor to explore divergent material and make their lectures more interesting and accessible and relevant to students.
The basics feature of the book is a review of what they may have learned in high school. For example, fundamental concepts in biology and chemistry.
I really like the experiments feature because it gives the student an insight into how science is conducted in laboratories around the world.
The importance of clinical material comes from the fact that you are your brain, understanding why people with strokes behave in a particular way, why people who have taken drugs behave in a particular way, is really at the essence of understanding humanity.
An important message for students is that this vast body of knowledge that we've generated comes from research, and they need to understand how research is done, how it's carried out, and what we can learn from animal models, for instance.
An introduction to brain and behavior is an opportunity for students to learn about themselves because they are their brain.